Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. It is August 11th, and we have a lot to do today, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We are, just like every other day, starting with our math workbook, and we are going to be completing page 26. Okay, so page 26 is going to continue to take us into division, okay? So it says, find the number in each group, write an equation, and solve the problem. So we have to do two things. We have to write the equation, we have to solve the problem, write and solve. So number 12 says, Aziz put 15 ice cubes in 5 glasses. He had 15 ice cubes and he had 5 glasses. He put the same number of ice cubes in each glass. How many ice cubes did he put in each glass? Okay, so the problem that I'm working out is 15 divided by 5. I'm going to show my work. And just from yesterday, we know that this is just the inverse or the opposite of a multiplication problem. So some of you, without even drawing the picture, may already know, okay, 5 times 3 gives me 15. All right, now, if we don't know that, though, what we can do is we can draw 5 glasses, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. And don't be judging my pictures now. Y'all know I'm not that great of a drawer. All right, but here's my glasses, okay? And then I'm just going to do dots as my ice cubes. So I can just count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, now, so did I satisfy what the question asked? It said I have 15 ice cubes. Do I have 15? 3 and 3 is 6, 6 and 3 is 9, 9 and 3 is 12, 12 and 3 is 15. Okay, so yes, I have 15. Do I have 5 glasses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I have 5 glasses. Did I put the same number of ice cubes in each? 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Yes, very good. How many ice cubes did he put in each glass? Okay, he had 15 ice cubes. He divided it by 5 glasses, and he got 3 ice cubes in each glass. Was so proud of you guys yesterday because somebody actually during our Zoom said, and the label is ice cubes. So very good. Include your label. Nicely done. So you will do the same for 13 through 17, actually. 13 through 17. Okay, your only next assignment in math, as far as the workbook goes, is to work on page 27. But the way that you're going to do page 27 is you're going to physically get your whiteboard out and you're going to draw this just in the same way that we did our 5s last Monday, okay? So you need to go from the product 2 down to 20. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. We know that, so we put 2 plus 2 twice, and we just do the same thing that we did with our 5s. And then you're also going to group each one of your blocks in 2s and skip count as you're doing it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So obviously we're now working on 2s, you guys. There was something else I wanted to say here, but I'm losing my train of thought. So I would like for you to do this exercise twice. And if you need to copy off of here, then use it to copy off of. You're fine doing that, okay? So everything you see here, do it once on your whiteboard, erase it, and try to do it a second time without using this, okay? So that's all you're going to be doing in this book for today. So I'm actually going to put that back away. I'm done with that one. Okay. Now I'm in my homework and remembering book, and I am opening to page 12. Last week, you only did the multiplication problems on this page for your 5s. So this week, you're going to complete all of the problems that we didn't complete last week, okay? So you still see my highlighting in yellow. That was what you were supposed to do last week. Again, all the multiplication problems. Now we understand what division is and what it means. So I want you to go back and do all the division problems. So 2, 6, 9, 12, for example. You know what to do here, okay? All right. And of course, just as an example, 45 divided by 5 is going to be 9. It would be great if you continued with your fact families, because you haven't learned this yet, but 45 divided by 9 equals 5, and then we know that 9 times 5 equals 45, and we learned the commutative property yesterday, which of multiplication, which is just the same with addition, where we can switch our factors around, okay? So 9 times 5 is 45, and 5 times 9 is also 45. If you do this, you guys, this is advanced work, so I would appreciate if you did this, send me a picture so I can display it for your classmates. Okay, page 14. All right, this is going to be your mixed review. It says make a math drawing for the problem and label it with the multiplication equation, then write the answer to the problem. So you got to do 3 things here. You have to make a drawing, you have to label it with a multiplication problem, and then you have to write the answer. 3 different things, and they do give you a little space. So it says Anne has 5 boxes with 7 crayons in each box. How many crayons does Anne have? All right, I know already that this multiplication problem is going to be 5 times 7. Yes. Now I haven't satisfied any of what this is asking me to do yet, right? So even if I write the answer or the product, which I'm not going to, you guys are going to fill that in, then I've only done one of the things that the directions is asking. I still have to make a drawing and then label it, right? So here's my 5 boxes of crayons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's my crayons. And they said there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to group them in their 5s like we did last year. It's kind of hard because my boxes of crayons are small. Okay, so I'm going to label it. This is box of crayons. Maybe 5 boxes of crayons and then 7 crayons in each box. Okay, 5 and 7 are my factor, and then you're figuring out your product. All right, number 3 and 4, it says write a multiplication equation for each array. How many dots, how many cubes? You guys, I think that we're really good at this. We did a great job in our lesson yesterday, so I'm not going to give you an example just because then you'll only have one other problem to actually practice, but I do think you can do this. Remember, it says to write the equation. So not so much as telling me how many dots there are, but writing the equation, then telling me how many dots or how many cubes. Number 5 says write a real world division problem using 5 as the divisor and then solve your problem. Okay? Rest of your time should be on IXL Math. I am going to be adding some yellow stars today, so make sure you get in there. Okay, we are moving on to a reading. So today for reading, you are going to start reading Amazing Grace, which I have to say I am really excited about. I have not read this story yet, but this is it's a popular book, honestly. I know it's in our reading textbooks, but this is actually a very popular book that you can buy in the bookstores. So I'm really excited to read this. During our lesson today, we're going to be going over cause and effect, so I would prefer you to wait as far as doing your workbook activities, okay? And like I said, we're going to be reading this story together in class and going over some comprehension questions. So just know that this is what's upcoming. If you're already working, hold off until we get into class doing this one, okay? I will show you what you're going to be doing here, but again, this is stuff that we're going over in class. So in your practice workbook, you're going to be completing page 23. Okay, and again, this is going to be what our lesson is on today, but I am going to read this in case somebody doesn't make it to class. So it says, the cause is what makes something happen, and the effect is what happens as a result. All right, we're going to use this often in social studies right now, but it'll also be used, cause and effect will also be used in science and really in every subject that we learn, but especially in reading, social studies, and science. So it says the cause is what makes something happen. The effect is what happens as a result. So write a sentence that tells the missing cause or effect. All right, so number one, they give you the cause. The cause, which is going to make something happen, we've got to figure out what's going to happen as a result. The cause is our library needed to raise money to buy new books and equipment. The effect is Uncle Guy held a carnival to raise the money. That's what happened. Okay? So our library needed to raise money, so Uncle Guy stepped in and he helped our school raise that money. All right? So now with number two, it's going to give you the effect. We raised over $200 for the library book fund. How did we do that? What was the cause? How did we make that happen? And really, you could probably use something similar. Number three, the library bought new computers. So what happened as a result? Number four, the cause, I took a computer class after school. So what happened as a result? This is cool. I like this one. All right. Now we're going to look at 24. So it's important to start with this just so you get your mind kind of ready for cause and effect. I've also given you a YouTube video that will help you with cause and effect that's linked on your Google Classroom. You want to watch that video, and you want to do this before going into completing this page. So this is going to go with your story, Amazing Grace. Page 24, it says, as you read Amazing Grace, fill in the cause and effects. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 causes and effects to fill in. You only need to fill in, I think, the first 3. Yes. 1, 2, and 3, and you can choose any of them. We're going to do this in class together, so don't fret too much, but I will show you how to fill this in when we're in our Zoom, okay? We actually are going to come back to this for language arts, so I'm just going to put this to the side. Now we are in writing. It is very important that you watch the YouTube video that is linked in your Google Classroom for writing. That video is going to go over what revising is, because that is what the step that we're doing today, okay? So I'm going past my rough draft. I am going to make a new page that says revising. I am not going to use my whole page. I'm only going to use half my page. So I sort of go where I use this hole, that middle hole, sort of as like my midway line. And I just draw a squiggly line because it's hard for me to draw a straight line. If you can draw a straight line, draw a straight line. But we're going to be doing revising today, and tomorrow we are going to be doing editing, okay? When we do our next pickup, I'm probably going to give you some sleeves that you can glue here every day, every time that we do our editing and revising. So in Google Classroom, you're going to watch your video on revising because she's going to explain to you what revising is. Revising is basically going back through your rough draft, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making any kind of corrections to our papers that we want to, because with rough drafts, we were just getting all of our ideas down on paper. Sorry, I'm going to grab a different colored pen because I'm going to use a different colored pen for this. And I think I'm going to use red, even though I don't like using red. Maybe I can use teal. Let's see if this works. It does. Okay. I'm getting a few different colors. All right, here we go. Now, so what I was saying is that what we're going to do is we're going to go through for revising. We are still not looking at capitals or spelling or punctuation. What we're going to be looking at is the wording of our writing. Okay, so you will see on your Google Classroom that with revising there is a picture that's linked that's called arms. No, this pin's not going to make it. Okay, we got to throw that one away. That's okay. I got another one. Here we go. Blue. So you're going to do arms for revising. And what is arms? Arms is add, remove, move, or substitute. So add, you're either going to add details and descriptions. Did you already add your transitions? The paper that you're using for your checklist does say add figurative language. We haven't learned that yet, so I don't want you to worry about that yet. But add interesting words and sentences. The R means remove. Remove words and sentences that don't make sense. Move. Move words or sentences that sound better in different places. Substitute boring words. Substitute simple sentences for more powerful sentences. Substitute redundant words, words that repeat. Substitute boring words, words that repeat. Okay. Now, this is why, and I'm doing my revising in blue. I'm going to do my editing in a different color too, okay? So this is why I skipped lines, you guys. Now you will understand this is why we have to skip lines within our writing. So I'm going to try to find at least, my goal, I'm going to make a goal to find 5 ways to revise my writing. So maybe make yourself a goal first. It doesn't have to be high. It can be if you want. But I think 5 is reasonable for my first paper. All right. So I'm going to go back through and I'm reading my entire paper and seeing where I can arms, add, remove, move, or substitute. So have you thought about your goals for this school year? I know that this year will be very unusual. I have many goals to make sure it goes smoothly. So instead of very, I'm going to use the word extremely. I know that this year will be extremely unusual. I think I can also change no to be more interesting or to sound more exciting. So I'm going to write, I can definitely imagine that this year will be extremely unusual. I have many goals to make sure it goes smoothly. Okay, that's good enough. So I've done 2 so far, right? So what did I do? I changed some things. Let's see, I substituted. So I'm going to put 2 tally marks right here because that's what I just did. I just substituted. As far as, it says add transitions, but guess what? We were already doing that. So maybe next time we don't have to add them yet, but we can add them later. But we definitely already added our transitions. I'm actually going to underline them in blue because that shows, all right, let me just make sure my transitions are there. Maybe you forgot to put in your transitions. So that's one of your tally marks. You just added in your transitions. But I did mine as I went. That was something we really worked on a lot last year. Okay, let me see if I can meet my goal. I want to do 3 more. I've already done 2. So first, my goal is to stay on schedule every day. How will I do that? Well, I will go to bed early and wake up on time. I will check Google Classroom every day. I will turn in my assignments each afternoon. Okay, something I see that seems repetitive is I use this phrase, I will, and I will every time. I also use it here. So I want to figure out how can I change that so that it's not so repetitive. Okay, let's see. First, my goal is to stay on schedule every day. How will I do that? Well, how about instead of say, well, I will, I could say, well, going to bed early and waking up on time will help me with this goal. Doesn't that sound better than saying I will again? So I'm just going to cross that off. Again, this is why we use every other line, so that we have the space now. And we want this to get kind of sloppy. All right. So, well, going to bed early and waking up time will help me with this goal. I will, and that's actually another one. So I'm going to say I substituted, I think. Yeah, we're going to call that a substitution. All right. So I think everything else is okay. I will check Google Classroom every day. I think that's okay. I will turn in my classroom. I will turn in my assignments I will turn in my assignments each afternoon. Okay. That's fine. So I've done 3. I want to find 2 more revising marks. Okay, so it says next. I want to learn new things this year. This is a goal I set every school year because I love to learn. Who wouldn't want to go to school and learn new things? How about instead of love, I'm going to say, just to make it more dramatic, I'm obsessed with learning. Okay, I just made another substitution. You can see with my revising, I really like this S, right? But I already added all my transitions, so I can't do any A's. And so far, everything seems to make sense. All right, so I'm obsessed with learning. Who wouldn't want to go to school to learn new things? Should I move that? You know what? I think that makes more sense after next. So watch. Next, I want to learn new things this year. Who wouldn't want to go to school and learn new things? This is a goal I set every year because I'm obsessed with learning. So yeah, I'm going to move this. So I'm going to write move to front of paragraph. Yep, that's going to go after my transition sentence. So good, I just did a move, and I think that's going to make a lot more sense. So I just reached my goal. That does not mean I'm just going to stop. Okay, I've reached my goal, I'm done. No, we're still revising. So let me go through quickly my next 2 paragraphs, see if there's anything I want to revise, and then I'm done. Then my favorite goal for this school year is to try to have some fun. This year will be very different because, even though that's supposed to be editing, I can see I forgot an E there, but that's okay because that's saved for my editing. I can't be with my friends. Let me reread that sentence. This year will be very different because I can't be with my friends. I can still try to have a good time while I am on Zoom. I can find fun things to do with my family, and I can use my imagination more. All right, I think I saw the word fun like 3 times, so let's see. I saw fun there. I saw fun here. Maybe only twice. Did I say it again? This year will be very different because I can't be with my... I can add an adjective here. My loving and hilarious friends. Oh, and I also see I can a lot. Look, I see I can, and then I can't. So maybe I want to work on that. All right, so this year will be very different because I can't be with my friends. I can still try to have a good time while I am on Zoom. I can find fun things to do with my family. And how about, instead of I can, how about I'll use my imagination more. Remember that we learned contractions last year, okay? So I just did a few things so I'm not repetitive with I can. Sort of gotten rid of that repetition there, and I added some adjectives to describe my friends because they are loving and hilarious. So let's see. I didn't move anything here. I did substitute I can, and I added some more. I did add some right there. I added some adjectives. So we're going to write add adjectives because that's what I just did, which again we learned last year. Okay, last paragraph for revising. In conclusion, my goals for this school year are to stay on schedule, learn new things, and have fun. How about, I'm going to replace that because it seems like we're using that a lot. Have a great time. How about learn new and interesting things. This year will be very different from the rest. I know, and I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to combine these two sentences. This year will be very different from the rest. I know I can do my best, comma, but I know I can do my best. I can't wait to get to work. Oh, very good. So here I added more adjectives. That's going to be a big one with our revising. Add your adjectives, and I will print an adjectives dictionary for you guys our next pickup as well. So added adjectives, new and interesting things. I can have a great time rather than just fun. So there I substituted again. I love to substitute, you can tell. I've done 6 substitutions. And then I merged these two sentences so they made more sense. This year will be very different from the rest, but I know I can do my best. And actually, I really like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. So what would that be? We made a simple sentence more powerful, and that would go under S. Simple sentences become more powerful. Yeah, I like substituting. So did I reach my goal? Let's see. 7, 8, 9, 10. I doubled my goal. So yes, I did. Good job. All right, if you have any extra time after all of that, and that took a little while, then you can go to IXL and work on language arts. Okay, so that was revising for our writing. I'm going to put this back because I'm going to keep it close because I'm going to need it for social studies. Now we're going on to language arts. You should go back to your practice workbook, and we're turning to page 31. We are continuing to work with exclamations, which show strong feeling, and we're going to be adding these to our writing every 2 weeks when we have a new prompt. So it says a command is a sentence that tells someone to do something, and an exclamation shows strong feelings. Rewrite the letter from Steve, fixing any mistakes that you might find. Remember, you should be using a pencil. I'm only using a pen so you can see it better. So it says, Dear Chris, and I'm going to follow exactly the same way that the author has written. Meaning I'm going to go to a new line after I write the greeting. What great news. Now that's a very powerful statement. That's an exciting statement. It's not a question. It's not a command. So it should end in an exclamation. Now also notice they indented here, right? So what great news! Exclamation mark. I'm so happy to hear that you're coming to visit next month. And it may be easier for you to go through and actually just read first what you want to fix and then go down. So that sentence is fine. I'm happy to hear that you are coming to visit next month. Wow, I can't believe it's been a year since you were here, since you were last here. I already have plans for things to do. So this sentence, we need to capitalize our W and we need to end it here. Now, if you remember from last year, if we put 3 lines under the W, that tells me I need to capitalize it. So, wow, I can't believe it's been a year since you were last here, exclamation mark. I already have plans for things to do, period. That one's fine. Okay, so you're going to do the rest, you guys. I've given you some examples here, and you do the rest. All right? Okay, so then we're done with our practice workbook for language arts. Now we're coming to science. I really like your science assignment today. What you're going to be doing is, yesterday you should have read and completed all of your information on adaptations, which was on page 22 of your Science Interactive Study Guide. Science Interactive Study Guide. Okay, so you read about adaptations. Last year we learned about habitats, and we studied that, especially with our trout. And this year we're talking about adaptations. So you already have a few different examples of adaptations, okay? now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be watching the link on Google Classroom that has it has a video attached to it on adaptations, and you're going to take your science notebook that we had such an excellent lesson in last Friday. You are going to go past your energy page. You are going past your questions. Remember when we did all of our questions here? And this is what good scientists do. They observe, they ask questions, they discover, and we do all of our lines, and we had a curiosity counter winner. Now remember, this side of your notebook, which is the left side, this is for you. So you are welcome to take this side of your notebook and make observations of anything around you. And you can take notes of what you observed down below and draw your picture up here. This space is for you. Left side's for you. Right side is for me. Okay? So, right side's for me. Left side's for you. So I am going to put a title here. If you want to practice writing your cursive, go ahead. If you can only remember how to do your capital A in cursive, then go ahead and practice it, you guys. I'll also write it in cursive here. All right, adaptation. So your job or your instructions are, I believe, to write 3 examples of a way an animal will adapt, okay? So birds have different, I should have skipped lines. So just keep that in mind. I could have skipped lines here. Actually, maybe I'll do that. And that's why if you have a pencil, you're better off. Birds have different size bills for their adaptation. Okay? Now, watch your video. If you want to copy my adaptation, you can. Watch your video and come up with 2 other adaptations, 2 different ones, and then you choose your picture to draw. Now, those of you that know me, I am not a great drawer. So some birds have really long, I don't know what kind of bird this is, so don't ask me. Okay. And then you might want to use your crayon and draw. But I would like for you to continue with what our mystery science lesson taught us, which he's supposed to be in the water, is that we're going to draw arrows from our statements to our illustration that it associates with. So my next 2 aren't going to be about birds, but obviously the depiction or the illustration that I included in my science notebook associates with number 1. So I'm going to draw my arrow to the depiction so I know that these 2 go together. Okay? Again, this side is for you if you want to go outside and make any observations. If you want to stay inside and make some observations, you could observe water boiling as your parents cook. You could observe ice melting in your cup as, you know, you're sitting with a cup of ice in front of you. And write down what you observe. Okay, scientists? So this is your work for your science today. Good job. All right, social studies. What are we doing for social studies? I don't have it in front of me. Let me look really quickly. Oh, yes, I like this one too. Okay, social studies. So I'm getting my, what is labeled as my writing notebook on the front. I am turning it upside down and backwards. My label fell off, so I need to go ahead and, I'm just going to write it with my Sharpie on here. Social studies. Okay. And it may be that you have to turn these notebooks into me after a few weeks because we may actually run out of space. So we are going in order with our papers, and hold on just one second. I'm going to have to do a second video, okay?